So structure-wise, what we are looking at is regulatory pieces. What we are looking at along the regulatory changes, what's happening on insurance side. We'll talk a bit also on the government initiative as well. You must be hearing about a lot of government initiative, including something on Fasal Bima, something on Jeevan Jyoti. There's a lot of other initiatives which exist today. You would have heard about Bima Sugam. So we'll talk a bit on these areas as well, so that you are fairly sort of conversant with it. And of course, over the next few years, we'll try to ensure that these kind of setups can also scale even more and you learn more, right? So with that, let's continue with the session. As I said, my name is Sameer Singh Jaini, and I am founder and CEO of the Digital Fifth. I think the agenda is largely simple. We'll talk about where the regulations are taking us, what are the reforms, what are the policy shift at the government level. Bit of it, we will focus also on infra side, licensing side, and of course, what the outlooks should be in going ahead. As I said, this is a series of webinars. We'll be coming back with almost 6, 7 more in next 1 month as we head towards our largest insurance event as well. Uh, we ourselves have been there for like almost 9 years, and we work with a lot of players in the banking segment. Uh, these are some of the senior leaders in the organization. And in terms of clients, we are working with a lot of banks, and we have seen a lot of fintechs and enablers. We have got some chance now to start with insurance segment as well, and we'll scale up from there as we see forward. So I'll skip all of these slides and come back straight. So the way we do Bharat FinTech Summit, I'm sure some of you would have attended that. We are trying to bring a scale on the insurance side. So all those who fill the feedback form will get a free access to India InsurTech Summit. This is going to be on 17th of July in Aurika. You may not be if you don't know Aurika. Aurika is very close to Terminal 2. It's a very lavish place, and we've taken the hotel. So if you come there, you will get to see a lot of exhibitors, lot of speakers. And normally, we have seen events where there's a high focus on only insurance companies and not on insurtechs, and more on insurtechs, not insurance. We tend to be on both sides. So you will see both insurance companies, insurtechs. You'll also investors. Investors will be there coming and investing in companies as well. So there'll be a investor pitch sessions as well, and tons of exhibitors out there. So it'll be a good engaging session. I'm actually very eagerly looking forward to meeting each one of you on that day. So all you have to get for if you are keen to do it, to join this session, you can actually do a feedback session details, and which my team will share very shortly, and you will come back. You can come back. These are some of the speakers here. We have Kamlesh, who's MD and CEO of Aditya Builders and Life. Mahesh is a big investor in the market, has invested in a lot of companies, including Renew. Rohit, of course, is leading one of the largest transformation in the industry, and so and so forth. So all of them are the players who have sort of built the industry, and we will be cutting across when we're taking the sessions. We'll take a founder's view. We'll take a area focus on claims management, underwriting, onboarding. So idea is to ensure that during the day we carry and understand all segments threadbare. And of course, we have enough space. So if you need more, if you have some recommendation of speakers in the feedback form, you can share, and we will figure out if we can sort of get them as well. So right now we will expecting around 45 speakers in this session, and maybe we have space for more, right? So don't worry about it. We'll be there, and we'll have great engagement. Uh, I think in terms of current, I'll talk about basically where we are on the insurance landscape. As of now, the segment is largely driven by life insurance in terms, if you look at it in terms of premium. And of course, second is general, and then health insurance. So I think life insurance takes the maximum premium. Of course, the logic is clear that they have a lot of money back kind of policies. They have ULIPs, and of course term life insurance. So there's enough and more out there, and of course there's a large premium out there. So but of course, if you see innovation, you've seen more innovation on the general insurance of late, where players like Echo and Digit and few more are accelerating it. And of course, with the more entries expected in this segment, and we'll talk about license like composite license and others. We'll talk through and on what all changes we do expect. And you can, of course, Yeah, you can send your feedback on the or questions on the chat box, and we will try to see if we can respond back, or we'll take all those questions and come back with the responses offline. So that's the intent. So in terms of the claims, again, of course, logically, life insurance will be larger claims, a fairly significant amount of it. I mean, just look at the size we are talking about in a year, almost 577 lakh, 5.77 lakh crores of premiums got claims got processed. And just look at the significance: 61 lakh crores of in life insurance is there, the AUM with them. So that's a fairly significant money. That's why they see it investing in so many areas. And of course, we look at very interesting chart when we look at the period when the slow growth happened across. So the way to look at is that maybe the cumulative number, which is more significant because this is more like a part one, part two, life insurance and non-life insurance. But if you look at total, we saw growth as such of the premium or a percentage of penetration, but it has dipped down. So I think this was the COVID period when suddenly everybody was focusing on life insurance and other things. But as that went down, I think we saw a consistent reduction in the penetration of life insurance. I think we as an individual got scared, and we started doing more and more of insurance, life insurance. But as we progressed, it degrew. But interestingly, what we saw was that within the growth and degrowth, I think there's a degrowth of 0.18% on life insurance side for a public sector, which is LIC, whereas the private sector actually has grown. So maybe we've seen some level of saturation in PSU side, but whereas on private side, the growth is continuously there as we see. And hopefully, over a period of time, this number itself, which is 3% or 2.8% penetration, is very, very low. I think if you look at the global basis, we will be among the lowest. And therefore, there's a need for us to scale up. There's a lot of initiatives government is right now doing to sort of support this out. Just again, look at the market shares. LIC continues, despite so many years, LIC continues to be a lead in this whole ecosystem, almost controlling 57% of the market. And others are also, over a period of time, playing decent catch up. So when we say this, we are also realize that given the pool of claims and pool of premium, it's a very significant one, almost 8 lakh crores. So each one of them are not that small, and they also continue to chug along. We obviously will see a very different market once the composite license will come, and there will be a lot of mergers with non-life insurance. So in non-life, unlike a life, the the PSU sector only controls 25% of the market, which is New Indian Insurance, United, Oriental, and National Insurance only have 25%. Um, and then lastly, it is led by people like ICICI or Bajaj or HDFC. Interestingly, Bajaj runs so well in the market, right? Given the size, normally you would believe that HDFC will be leading the way they are leading here, but in case of the general health, I think it's dominated by Bajaj more than HDFC. Very interesting phenomena. If you do more innovation, how you can go forward in the market, at least on this side of the segment. I think with the new regulations coming in, what the thought process we'll try to call about, and then we'll see what all are the specific initiatives running out there. We will also pause in between if there are questions which we can respond back, or if we can't respond back, we will try to ensure that we do get you feedback on it through emails or WhatsApp over a period of time. Now, I think the critical aspect on which the government is driving is universal coverage. I think there's a talk everybody would have heard about insurance for all by 2027, 2047. Now, I think हम बचपन में बोलते थे 20 साल 50 साल बाद, but actually it's 22 years. It's not. I mean, in a country where the penetration levels are so low, and it has moved from here to there, it's going to be very significant movement. Right now, the only real product which is penetrated is motor insurance because that's mandatory, and therefore you have no choice. But otherwise, on its own, on a voluntary basis, it's not happened. So this is the focus where everybody should have insurance. At least one product should be there. The politician level is also very interesting. So as I'm speaking to so many industry leaders, everybody kept on telling me that Sabir, टॉप 10-20 सिटीज के बाद पेनिट्रेशन है ही नहीं हमारा। जो भी है इतने में ही है। जितना भी स्केल बोलो, जितनी भी बात कर लो, इट इज लार्जली वेरी रेस्ट्रिक्टिव टू टॉप सिटीज। I think the government is also looking at how do you penetrate the market even deeper, and they're coming with new ideas like Bima Vistar, where basically they're basically the entire trinity of Bima, Sugam, Bima Vistar, and Bima Mark. I think they're trying to ensure that new kind of products and new kind of distribution can come, so that the acceleration can happen. Vistar will be a new kind of product which will have a two, three products built in together. And of course, they're looking at ease of access. How do you ensure that when somebody wants to buy, they can buy it rather fast? There's obviously a lot of commissions involved, and they may also be looking at reduction in commission because there's a lot of issues of mis-selling in this market. I think this market is prone to mis-selling like anything, right? I mean, you would have seen enough cases. I think that's what something which government is also looking at solving for. Also, from a regulation perspective, the government is also, or the IRDAI is also looking at very, very rule-oriented regulation or prescriptive to a principle base, saying that, boss, these are the high-level frameworks you have to follow. Regulation numbers have come down dramatically. And I remember that a few years back, we used to say that if any entity has to, or any insurer has to launch a product, they have to get permission from the regulator. That is not so anymore. You actually can launch and go back and inform. So very interesting stuff. Also on digital transformation side, I think Bima Sugam will be amazingly different, right? I think just imagine a digital platform on which um, a- anybody can buy from any entity, almost like the way right now we're talking about UPI. This is a UPI movement for the market where you can go to hospital, and then backline there'll be a insurer, and all of that is linked to your particular entity, and that will work. So I think they're trying to create a NPCI movement through Bima Sugam. Now, as and when it happens, the impact we'll get on the market will be huge. In India InsurTech Summit, definitely will bring some of the insights we are trying to get the speakers and the guides from that Bima Sugam, so that each one of you get a decent learning from it. Of course, we are also trying to get the regulatory support as well, so that you can hear the regulator as well. But I'll not make many promises on the regulator side, but you will see many of the leading speakers, or some of the specific guys who you're intending to talk about it. And of course, there's a lot of thought process on capacity building and employment generation. So I think Bima Mahak, which is primarily a female-oriented distribution channel, which is what they are trying to build for, who will act like a facilitator. That's something which they are really, really keen on. So a lot of interesting initiatives are all in the one direction, saying that can we ensure that at the country level you will have universal coverage. The penetrations are also deep across states. So I also heard that some of the private insurers also have been given certain states to expand your business. So idea is that can you expand your business in each and every state? So they have been given certain states so that they can go deep into those, rather than saying that everybody focuses on top 5 states and that's about it. And we spoke about ease of access. Even today, if you and we have to buy insurance, we'll take a lot of time. Somebody was telling me very interestingly, saying if you have 10 things, the 10th thing will always be insurance, and then after 6 months, also 10th thing will also be the insurance you want to do, but you could not do. That has been the case with me in many cases. So I want to today, for example, buy a sort of health insurance, and I'm confused. I'm trying to buy a property insurance and I'm confused. So it's not easy. The only way is a place where I make quick decision is because for motor you have no choices to make, right? So I think very interesting change we will see in next few years. So let's look at the first big change the government is making is composite license is what they're right now focusing on. The challenge in the market is that now there are, let's say, you will find three kind of entities. There'll be the life insurance companies, there will be general insurance companies which can also do health, and there'll be health specific insurance companies. So there are three kind of companies right now as such. And from a customer perspective, so it is from a distribution perspective or a company perspective, if you do life and if you do health very close to each other, And from a customer perspective, they also look at in composite way. Today, when we offer to our own employees insurance, in my mind, it is always life and health, right? So, but when you segregate it, both are provided by different players. It does get very complicated. So, what if this composite structure happens? Then this will give the insurance ability to offer almost all products to same client because customer is same. Can you offer more? So there's more like a cross sell possible. In life insurance, cross sells can be very complicated, right? So I think it is a big power to them. Cost efficiency, right? Because finally the tech cost, then business cost and distribution cost will overall be sort of distributed across multiple products and multiple entities. So it will be much cheaper for us to go out there. There will be more innovation because now you can mix it up, bundling of health and term, or maybe X and Y, right? Motor plus health you can give, right? You can do because you can distribution wise you can figure this out. In terms of insurance, they can actually get into new segments. They can cross sell more. So I think all in all, very positive. But it would obviously have some guidelines and controls coming in. They're talking about capital requirements will be appropriate. Idea is to ensure that there's no additional risk to the market because if you add, you have a depletion of capital. There's a massive risk because when the actual incident will happen, the company may not be there. So they're very conscious about that. And of course, from a financial records perspective, they expect the products, the records to be separately kept. Right now, PSUs are not, and general insurance companies from government side are not part of this composite license as of now. But we'll see action in all sides as I see it. I don't know if you guys would have seen, there's a lot of market in the market, a lot of new innovations are happening, a lot of new companies are trying to enter. All of that is led by government push for deeper penetration and of course things like composite license, right? So I think what we'll also see is that let's say the same entity may have two insurance companies. It is maybe ICICI or a Bajaj or HDFC and so forth and so forth. Now, what will happen potentially over a period of time, not immediately, potentially over a period of time, I'm not judging on any of these entities, but I'm saying logically there'll be some point in time they will start merging these two entities to optimize the cost and better distribution. So you will see those changes for sure. Who will do, who will not do, we don't know right now. And of course, you may have a entity which is only in one side of the business. Maybe somebody's only in health, and some point in time they will say they want to launch new products. They will get into maybe a life insurance and or maybe a general insurance on their own. So I think that's going to market entries will also happen. So it will widen or increase the competition. There's also a risk which we carry is that a risk of monopoly. If suppose a strong player on both sides merge with each other, they may have a significant advantage over others. But that's how marketplaces work. We don't know about it, but yeah, it is something which might just happen. So we'll see how it goes from there. Let me see if I can see some question and answer there. Uh, I think we will talk about Ayushman Bharat as well, Rohit. I'll come back to that. How does AHVA, we'll also talk about AHVA piece as well as we go forward, right? So, yeah, so just hold on for that. Uh, so we'll now go to more of these policies and shifts. I think this is something which many guys would have spoken about. I think we were in a market where uh, foreign investment is not allowed for, I mean, it's not too far back, right? In the market, I think the first level of liberalization, which happened in 2000 in the segment, 26% allowed. And if you look at over a period of time, it has moved from 49, 74 now to 100%. And I think the moment this has happened, a lot new companies will enter. And as I see in the market, whatever I hear, I think there's significant movement which is going to happen because of that. And those that investment will obviously ensure that it more accelerates more, maybe more innovation from outside the country will come in. And of course, some of these investors who are there with some level of investment will move from 74 to 100%. Logically so. It has happened in another industry. Why would not? But of course, what it does not cover is people like LIC, people, and then of course social media, social security schemes. Those are not covered. They continue to be run independently. So 100% FDI will generate more heat in the market. And of course, anything which happens like that, it's logically going to create benefits to the market. Lower premium, of course, generically competition brings lower premium, and hyper capital infusion obviously is good for the market. Deeper penetration is hopefully be the result, because when you compete, the pricing goes down, and you'll also figure out that, okay, in the top 10, 20 cities, there's not enough business you will penetrate. You see this a lot when you look at banking. Banking has penetrated a lot because of things like Chandan schemes. And then on top of that, they also have that BC model, which is a Bima Wahak equivalent. In banking, the BC model has been there forever. Business correspondent model has been there forever. But in the insurance segment, I think we didn't have the structure. That's coming up as Bima Wahak. So that should accelerate the market a lot. And of course, we hope that this generates more jobs, more innovation in the market, hopefully. And of course, there are some things which are still to be detailed, where can profits be repatriated fully or not. There may be also a risk of maybe a foreign entity dominating the market, and of course, all the domestic insurers will also come under pressure. But that's something which we did expect. The market knew that over a period of time, this kind of frameworks will be established at a country level. And I don't think there's an issue with that. I don't think I've met a lot of insurers in the last few months. I've not seen any feedback that they are really scared. I think they're very, very open to look at composite license and see if they can optimize their cost and sort of come back with new innovative products. So I think a lot of work, the background work is happening, but of course, once the license will come up and those changes will be established, we have sort of some time to go ahead for that. At this point of time, I'll pause a bit and try to take questions. Again, I repeat, this is something work in progress for us. We would like to hear from you what your questions are. Maybe you can raise your hands if there are any. I'm just trying to see if there are any raised hands. If no, then I'll continue to do. And Sakshi, what you can do is send the details of the feedback form. As I said, anybody and everybody who would fill the form will also get access to the event, which is on 17th of July. We'll come back and share with it. The only thing we'll obviously cross check that each one of you have participated in the event, and that's largely it. So I think we are very, very keen to get all the right guys who are really interested in the market. I didn't see any hands up, so I'm assuming that till now you are clear on the agenda. And we'll come back with another chance to each one of you to ask questions. Yeah, there we are. We were at this place we were talking about 100% investment, right? So let's continue with this slide. This is very interesting. Okay, this is very interesting. This has changed the whole game. Expenses of management and commission reforms. I think this has been a norm. Or mis-selling has been norm. The kind of commissions which are paid to the distributors has been always a challenge in the market. I remember I took my insurance for my daughter almost 22 years or 21 years back, something 18 years back. Sorry, 18 years back. And I'm still very, very unhappy that the first premium which I paid, which was not small, I paid a premium of 60,000 rupees. And in that, I think 60% or 65% was taken as a I don't know, expense and commissions, right? I think it was bizarre. I somehow feel that and I'm talking about 18 years back or 19 years back, somebody asking for just 36,000 rupees for just distribution, right? And then the fact of the matter is this was actually a direct deal. I actually have spoken directly to the insurance company, and their people have come. Still, there's a 36% cost. 36,000 was the cost. I think this is the industry which is when you look at UPI on a transaction basis is literally nil cost. When you look at lending, the insurance, the rate at which the whole thing is done is X, and the processing cost is maybe 1 or 2% or 3%, which is also not charged to the customer. I think this industry will have to look up to better ways to manage. And of course, it's not about saying that one guy will have to be sort of penalized, not really. But we just need to ensure that more controls and more frameworks are coming, because I think it's bizarre to see the kind of charges. So I think government had taken and regulator had taken some actions to put the guidelines. One of the very, very critical change which is made out there in expense management and commission reforms is that earlier there was a separate category for expenses where, let's say, they would have said exactly what has to be there's a fixed caps. Let's say, for example, X percentage of the premium will be the expense cap. And there was a commission structure already created out there, right? Product specific commission structure was there. But what happened was that this is all piecemeal, right? So what they have merged it into one structure and try to ensure that you know what you're going to work on. So the from framework is now much simpler. Life insurance, for example, a single premium pure risk. Earlier it was 10% of premium. Now it is 14%. But interestingly, they've added the commission structure to the same numbers, right? So you can't go beyond this in terms of pricing and all of that. So it now includes commission, which can be very, very bizarre. For a term insurance, for example, maximum sort of expenses and commission can only be 14%. In terms of general insurance, again, they have gone ahead and saying, okay, unified cap of 30% of the premium across all products. So I think they've just tried to simplify. Don't go beyond, but that should include all your expenses, including the cost of commission you will pay, right? Same is the case in terms of health insurance. Again, unified cap has been created. So very, very critical for us to ensure that when the premium is charged, it is not excessive. The commissions are not excessive because finally it impacts the profitability. I think I was talking to a leading a distributor in the country, and he was saying that from purely from the frameworks perspective, I'll give you an example. Let's say today, from a distribution perspective in banking business, banks dominate, right? They distribute, and of course, some level of distribution is done by other agencies. But if you look at the insurance industry, the distribution is always done by third party. It is mostly, in many cases, it's always bank assurance, right? Banca actually dominates. So it is distribution led that organization led industry, whereas in banking is manufacturing as well as distributing both. So very different industry. So therefore, when there's no control, the chance that you will have the higher commission going out to the partners is going to be very large. So I think they've tried to solve for it. Now, we see changes in the market, we see pricing improving, but let's see overall how it falls in place over a period of time. So hopefully, when this happens, of course, simplified compliance, we know that in earlier avatar, a lot of mis-selling has happened because of this. So hopefully, this should reduce. Of course, there's a chance that since they're allocated 5% of cost can be allocated to innovation, I think that's going to come up and improve. And of course, when the overall cost will go down, right now the distributors also used to high commissions. If once the commissions are much more easier and they look at scale up that portion, because even if you look at banking industry, none of the products generate that kind of returns the way insurance does. So I think if then they work very competitively, hopefully the penetration levels will still go up in the market. So all in all, positive for the market. Uh, Now, at this point of time, I'll sort of delve into in an area where many of you may be more interested. What work is happening, and a very interesting fact is that some of the initiatives we hear about, which are there led by the government, they've gone a very deep penetration. I was trying to look at the indexes. Some of them run into lakhs and crores, right? The kind of the deployment has happened at the government level from for each of these segments. I think it's like amazing number. It's interesting that people may not know, right? People like you and may not know because we stay in cities. We also tend not to use the government infrastructure in most cases, right? In most cases. So for us, it may not be a real understanding, but the way usage has happened of each of these activities, each of these products is amazingly high. Maybe I think I'm requesting my team, Dipanshu and Drishti, to build maybe in the next few sessions around some of these areas slightly deeper so that you can get an exact index. Right now, I'm just covering at a broader level. So I think this is National Health Claims Exchange, again, a very critical insights or product coming from National Health Authority, where today, for example, customer presents the insurance card, and of course it can goes to fills a form, manual scans for the document and all of that. So there's a current process. I myself went through this process when I went for my own insurance, and then of course we went through health a problem. And today, what happens is that you have your own ABA card, which is where it's also equivalent of maybe the Aadhaar equivalent for this where the entire data or background about yourself is there. And then whenever you go for any kind of claim, when you typically will go for claim process, automatically the backend, the entire the hospitals and as well as the insurance agencies are on the same framework, and user, hospital, and insurance being the same framework, data exchange happens automatically, and the claims can happen really fast. And I think I was looking at some of the numbers; they are running into sort of lakhs, right? So generically, when you look at it, many of the large insurers already on board, a lot of TPs are already on board, and a lot of the hospitals already on board. I think the last I heard was almost 66 lakh customers. The claims have already been processed on the platform, which is amazing, right? Again, this talks about the way government moves. It just doesn't move. It actually changes the market itself. So the claims movement is the truth of the moment, right? I think insurance industry is primarily a claims oriented industry, and the claims are really transparently handled, and it is not left to the control of the insurers when to say no and yes. I think it will be a market thing that, to be honest, one of the reasons why I'm not taking some insurances is that I don't know what the intent of the insurer is. Will they actually process, let's say, for example, when I die, will my family actually get the money or will not? I mean, the truth of the moment, I will not be will even be there. So I think that's the thought process I have as such, right? So I think let's see how the market moves as such. Yeah. Let's move to I think many of you would be thinking about the trinity of Bima Sugam, Bima Vistar, and Bima Vahak. I think in this session, we'll keep it to very basic discussion. But I think as we go forward in next few sessions, we'll go much deeper into each and every entity, and we'll update on what's happening in each area, what the data numbers look like, where the growth is likely to be the case, right? So that's the intent. So Bima Sugam obviously, as I said, is like a UPI movement where we are trying to ensure that buying, selling, and servicing of insurance products and policies becomes really smooth, really easy, and anybody can go technically to any framework, any platforms, and should be able to do it. So in the background, Bima Sugam will ensure that all the interfaces are done. Now, this is work in progress. I had a discussion with another player, I think as recent as 2 hours back. I think a lot of work is happening right now. I think my understanding is from the ecosystem is leading players like Proteum is leading this whole build up, and hopefully over next few months, a few years, this will come up. We will talk more about it, or maybe more sessions. We'll try to see if we can get somebody from Bima Sugam for next few webinars. I'll come back on that. And Bima Vistar is so just framework is simple. There's obviously insurers and there is a customer, but there has to be a consent layer, right? So the way we are looking at marketplace, there'll be a broker who will actually play a role here. Whereas Bima Works will be coming almost like a repository structure where they can actually pull in and then start selling products to the customers. The way TPs are right or doing for claims is what they are looking for Bima Works. So again, simplifying the marketplace. When it comes to Bima Star, it's primarily to ensure that a comprehensive product comes primarily again as the government has an initiative primarily to go to rural and underserved areas, and that's something which they are really keen on. And then the third piece, obviously, as I said, they are trying to ensure that the way business correspondents are there for banking. I mean, one of the reasons why Jandan could be such a big success is because we had that BC model in the banking industry. That same structure is they're actually trying to create in the insurance industry with Bima Wahaks, which are basically women who will be actually distributing this. And the idea is to create more entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs in the rural and the underserved areas, and they will take the product to the market. And of course, this hopefully should generate more employment and of course a deeper penetration, because it's very difficult for insurers themselves to reach. The cost structure may not permit. And that's something which these Bima Trinity frameworks will help in. I think in one of the webinar, we'll also talk a bit deep on the regulatory sandbox. I think IRDAI has been one of the fastest to deploy, take from product from sandbox actually to production. I think there's a usage-based insurance and many others which are coming are primarily coming from this side. So regulatory sandbox is basically saying that how do you provide for relaxation in some of the guidelines, some of the regulations, some of the master circulars. It's not about any other change. I mean, they will not give you any other leeway. Can you do solvency change or can you do capital? But primarily to ensure that you can ask for some relaxation. And based on that, I mean, you can actually get a permission for a period of time. You can ask for extension. But idea is the government is saying that can you innovate? And then once the innovation is stabilized, that particular innovation can be actually made available for the entire ecosystem to grow. So very interesting factors in the market. The next comes the government schemes out there. One, obviously, the bigger one is we talk a lot about this Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. Now, to be very honest, a lot of I mean, many years back, I was actually deploying, implementing in my banking years. I'm talking about many years back, and honestly, I did not appreciate as much in those days on what Jandan can do. Right, Jandan, of course is a big, powerful platform for banking. But I think it was also a rider for anybody actually to get the insurance. So what the government did was that any resident who had a savings account and age between 18 to 50, if they put 436 rupees, they will get a coverage of 2 lakh rupees, right? So it's a low cost insurance which is distributed on top of the banking ecosystem, and just one click and you're done. So I think a lot of positive stuff have happened. Almost 8 lakh claims have happened, almost 70,000 crores. So a very powerful tool for insurance to reach to the deeper, just from a government perspective, very deep penetrations out there. This is basically more from a health perspective. Again, what in this particular case, you would have heard about this Ayushman Bharat. I think the idea is again simple. Government obviously will take care of the entire subsidy piece. So government takes care of entire premium, but basically each family gets 5 lakh rupees worth of coverage on a yearly basis, and they can go to hospitals and get the coverage done. So again, in terms of number of cards issued, I think we are talking about almost 36, 37 uh, crore Ayushman cards have been issued. And in terms of admissions, maybe around, we are talking about 8 crore admissions have happened. So I think, I repeat, many of us may not appreciate this because we're not using those channels, but I think they are very powerful for end-to-end distribution of the or maybe taking the these kind of initiative down to the last mile. This is primarily for Bima. So idea is that anybody and everybody who has this is basically for my accident cover. So accident cover, just you have to take 20 rupees and then you have a bank account and you're covered for 2 lakh rupees. Again, very low cost structure, but very powerful for distribution side, right? In many cases, let's say it can be waived down and all that can change the market, right? So I think distribution wise is massive. Uh, Payment obviously is something is just 20 rupees, is not very high. And we've seen good distribution of this product as well. And it comes to the fossil side, basically crop insurance. The government is the state government is the master policy holder. And in this case, again, based on the kind of uh, 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 crop you have, if you have Rabi or you have Kharif, you have different summer short. But the structure is again saying that because in India also, the way you have now weather changing, you may need support. You can't, I mean, you would say otherwise see a lot of challenges in the rural market. So I think to solve for that, they've sort of launched this product as well. So again, look at distribution. 4 crore farmers are already on board on this platform. Now, I think I'll try to simplify. I'll not try to take it long, and I'll pause after this time and we'll talk about what else are we doing in the market to sort of engage with you and see what we can do. I think let's look at what happened in the payment and lending industry, and you can learn from that as well. I think right now, today, if you look at different data silos are there for health. Every time we go to a hospital, we have our own data, we bring that paper. So if some of them give us the paper and we keep the paper. I now, for example, can tell you that in my home, we were just cleaning up and we found all the old papers. But I think, do we have that organized? It's left to people to do it. I think if we were to digitize it and keep it in one store, it will be easier. Insurers will have no access to that data. They'll come back and ask for it. TPS will also ask the same data. So I think, can we have a single repository where the consent-based structure, the data can be distributed more like the way the bureau scores are there. Similarly, you will have a health score, health data, and which can be used and interchange across board. We already have the framework in the country, the way you have Aadhaar there, and every place Aadhaar is stored. I think that's a very powerful structure. Then of course, and this is more like a DigiLocker structure, right? You have one structure where you which is can be used, and of course today onboarding process can be heavy and slow. That can also be simplified with simple onboarding. Rural and semi-urban areas are not covered. That can improve dramatically. Today, you'll have a fragmented policy views. I mean, I was actually trying to search for policies, and I realized that I had taken a ICICI Lombard policy almost 18, 20 years, 16 years back. And I didn't see any communication from the insurer. I have not seen. So if I lose a policy, I'm done. But that's again is a process to be revamped. So I think if there's a single place, people will also know all the information. I was actually worried that has it expired or not? But I mean, again, we don't get to see this information coming across. That's can be coming up. And of course, long turnaround times, maybe the claims can be very, very difficult, right? When you have to go for a claim, you're always worried कि होगा कि नहीं होगा, claim reject तो नहीं हो जाएगा. And of course, from innovation perspective, innovation has been slow. I think so. From a framework perspective, what we are looking at is these kind of initiatives will change the market. I think at this point in time, I just want to communicate that if we shared the feedback form. So just a key point, we have already shared the feedback form, and I'm going to continue to take more questions from your side. I've seen some of the questions. So if you guys can give a feedback to us, all those who will give feedback will also get access, and you can actually tell that if you want to join our InsurTech event that's coming up. So maybe I'll just show you what we are talking about the event. Just one sec. Yeah. So if you look at the event, it's coming on 17th. Yeah. So this is on 17th of July in Mumbai, very close to the airport. It will be the largest InsurTech event in the country. Maybe InsurTech and insurance together will be the largest event. This is a first set of speakers we've got. We are basically looking at all three segments, the life insurance, health insurance, and general insurance. We are looking at all journeys, onboarding, underwriting, claims. We're also looking at innovation which is happening in the market. We're also trying to see if we can get somebody from the regulator or a Bima Sugam, anything which accelerates the market. And we'll also have an investor bazaar where if you're early stage startup and you would want to come here and sort of showcase to the investors. And if you're an investor who's looking for investment in InsurTech, you can join us here in the event and learn. We'll have, I think, 25 odd or 30 odd stalls there. So you'll get to experience new products, new journeys. The intent of this whole event is that can we accelerate the market? Can we ensure that more and more deals happen? We had a sort of in when we did Bharat Fintech Summit over last 3 years and many of the other earlier initiatives, we've seen amazing amount of traction, a lot of deal closures, a lot of investment happening. We have one of the client we are working with and also is a sponsor here. Actually came on the first round of Bharat Fintech Summit, got funded the first round, then Series A happened in the next one, and then now Series B. So I think we've seen our events generating amazing amount of business as well as investment. So hopefully each one of you can join and give feedback. And in the interim, let me just try to take some questions. And if I'm not able to respond back those, we'll come back and come back in the next. So I think Saurabh Kumar is asking this question that. For insurance perspective, GC footprint, current and future landscape is what he's looking at. I think we'll work on it. Similarly, he's asking for InsurTech ecosystem. the India story, innovation story. So you are basically looking at more and more articles to be written around that. So what we've done on our side is that we've started a separate newsletter on purely on insurance. I don't know if how many of you got it. If you're not getting, we'll add you to the newsletter. If it is also possible that you may not be may not be getting primarily because you may have you may not have accepted it. It may be going in your what do you say, junk box. So just check if you can read, and that will come back. So the newsletter on insurance have already started. I think 2 or 3 rounds have gone, and you'll see more of them as such. So I think we'll cover up them right now. Our team of Deepanshu and Drishti and Jay are actually covering. So there are 3 team members who are actually purely focusing and building the content for that. Then there's a question which is coming up. Incumbent insurance versus insurgents with new FDI. Who will race with new regulations, distributions, EM norms, distribution play a key role. I think we'll maybe Mitesh will come back more detailed responses to it, but I think distribution is always going to be key because the product is still very complicated. And we are not yet at a stage where the buyer actually can decide end to end. The way I think if you look at in the lending business, lending is in to some extent, not totally, is now controlled by the buyer. They know what they're buying and they know the journey as well. So that's been got simplified over a period of time. Banks, the customers are not as scared of the bank, right? Because they know the process really well. I think some similar movement on insurance will happen over a period of time, but will it come to a same level of complexity? Not at all, because product it's inherently is complicated. It has more options. It's actually like an option, right? What will happen if this happens? What will happen if that happens? Even if you buy a vehicle insurance, there are too many nuances out there. So I think it's going to be more challenging. I think for next 5 to 10 years, I think this segment will continue to throw us new innovation and new growth opportunities for us, right? So I keep telling people that if you want to enter this industry, any industry in the lending, in the fintech and insurance business, I think InsurTech is a good area to be in. I think I'm a big supporter of B2B businesses. I think within B2B, there are a lot of options there. Can you provide technology for this? Can you be distributed? Can you provide the underwriting templates or processes or something like that? So can you automate the claims? Can you ensure that AI can be used for certain use cases? Because this is where it's very human intensive. I think if you can solve for it, there's a lot of business can be built around that. So if you look at the cost structure of the insurance, you would realize that we are talking about 30% of the premiums getting spent on expenses. So if you can simplify that, that will be great service to the market. Now we have Paramdeep Singh. Paramdeep Singh is asking, how do you see a growth of embedded insurance? While we once sees low PA, etc. in play, is there any need for further simple products? Okay. Okay, so my sense, and I think I also led by whatever discussion I've had with multiple embedded finance players. I think there's a much easier play on embedded insurance, primarily on the general side, the group insurance side, because it's easier and does not go through the entire complexity of onboarding and all. I think this is the first wave of embedded finance, which is insurance, which has happened. But when it comes to the personal insurance and all kind of insurance around that, that will take some time. Maybe easier products like a travel insurance or a motor insurance can still be done. I mean, I'm sure at some point in time, the distribution of insurance for a, let's say, vehicle will be done by the car manufacturers themselves, because any which way the data is going to come from cars itself. The movement GPS data will come from the device itself. So that will happen, but I think embedded finance will remain critical and will scale with time. Distribution will still be there, and because insurers themselves cannot reach to the customer directly, right? Uh, I think Shweta is asking that I would like to hear of innovations to increase insurance penetration in rural areas. Also, what infra will be required to ensure coverage of low income populations? I think we take your point, Shweta. Some of the pointers which the session were around that. When I spoke speaking about the government initiatives on Bima Sugam and others. But we will pick it up more deep in the next round of discussions we'll have over the next few weeks. I think the intent is that every from next week onwards, either we'll have one or two webinars around that. It's just also ensure that all of you are open more to what is happening in the market. I think this market has been slightly I wouldn't say slow, but I would say that not enough is known in the market about the what is happening in the insurance industry. So I think as we all catch up, we'll go deeper and deeper. So more and more sessions we'll do so that you can know around that. In fact, interestingly, we are doing a very deep report on insurance. That's also going to get released in the event. It's almost like a 60 to 80 pager, which again my team, Dipanshu, Prishti, and Jay are working on. Intent is to come back with a full stack of document which you can use, saying that which regulations is changing, what has happened, who are the key players in each segment, what kind of funding has happened in the market, in terms of challenges, what are the challenges in distribution, what are the challenges in underwriting, and then of course you'll have insights from a lot of leading maybe I would say innovators in the market. So we are right now interviewing a bunch of people, all leaders in the market, and even today we are interviewing a lot somebody today. So idea is to interview almost like 25 to 30 people and get their insights as well, because a lot of times we can keep saying what we say, but market knows better all the time, right? So it's always good to go back to the market and ask them as a player what are they seeing, as somebody who's distributing, how are they seeing it. So that's a thought process. Then there's a question on Mitesh is asking why people will use Bima Sugam, whether it's plans to offer the cheapest policy to all insurers, whether they will have deep pockets for digital spend. So I'll not I so I think Bima Sugam, I'll go deeper. I don't want to confuse at this point of time with more insights, but framework is simple. There'll be single framework on which the it's like an NPCS structure will be there, central entity which will actually enable the whole process. We'll look at it when we go through it. I think uh, that's that. Bima Vistar is the more like a product than the other thing. Subramaniam, you were asking is how does ABA factor in and impact the market? I think ABA will is basically entity as an identity we will keep, which it has all the medical data and all the hospitalization data. So I think that is what it is. And once you have it, the way it is used and the way APIs are integrated, that will help. And of course, Rohit was asking about Ayushman Bharat Yojana and stuff like that. So we've given some inputs on it, but we'll go more deeper on it as such, right? Let me see if I have more questions to be answered. Um, so there is Sarika asking, uh, if would Bima Sugam would be an aggregator for distributor channel, and would claim a cycle will also be integrated. So I think our understanding is it'll have end-to-end frameworks, but deeper stuff, as I said, we will bring. I don't know, again, given the lack paucity of time, will not go deeper into it. But in the next session, we'll go and maybe take more. What are your thoughts on health savings account, and whether when would India get into that space? Yes, I don't know. I don't know anything about health savings account. It is something which maybe some product. Yes, you can actually share with me. I'll also go through it and read more. I think it's a concept maybe outside India, but in India we not have seen it. So we'll see on it. Yeah. So Saurabh is asking that can this deck be shared on a WhatsApp group? So just for everybody, I don't know. Can you share a WhatsApp group here, which we have the link? So we also run a WhatsApp group primarily focused on insurance. Again, the way we have worked with in the fintech segment by creating WhatsApp groups and distribution channels so that the information also reaches. Only then you can actually act. Similarly, we also have a WhatsApp group. You can join that as well. It's a free subscription. Anybody can join. And of course, we will share this text as well there out there. Yeah, we'll do that. Um, uh, then the question Subramaniam is asking is, how do you think GenAI can leverage improve insurance penetration and transparency? I think we will, of course, in one of the sessions, we'll bring a session around GenAI use cases. But the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of documents which are flying inside the market, right? On every activity, right? So if that can be digitized, including medical records with fair accuracy, I think that will change the way the costs are. We had a very interesting use case few days back. We were basically digitizing the onboard journeys for MSMEs and for a client, and it was very interesting. So it was heavy on documentation, heavy on paper, and all of that, and used to take hours and hours of time. And once we were focusing on end-to-end digitization, end-to-end processing, and including all API, we incidentally at that point of time did not even use GenAI, but productivity shoot up can be scarily high. It as of now we understand it's so high that the teams don't know what to do, right? So it's more like a 10x movement which has happened in that today customer can self onboard and all those and customer doesn't have to go through a lot of questions. It's actually very easy, right? So I think when you digitize properly and of course include Gen AI, I think the benefits will be visible. It can be both on the onboarding journey, servicing journey, and of course claims journey. Every journey can be dramatically improved. Uh, so Rajiv is asking, given all these new changes introduced by IRDA, when do you believe IRDA may mandate Indian insurers to move to risk-based capital regime like a European Solvency II? Rajiv, I'm not literate enough to answer that as of now. I have better expertise on journeys, products, and processes. If you were to ask the same question on lending side, I would have given you a different answer. But I'll work back on it. I'll learn on it and come back. This area I've not really looked at, so we'll work on it and come back. I'll also, at this point in time, giving anybody a chance to raise your hands. I think, as I said, WhatsApp group is already there. If you would want to join the WhatsApp group, it's already shared. Please go ahead and accept it. And this deck will also be shared in the group as well. If you have any questions, you can raise your hands right away and I'll pick up those questions. So I think some of you were raising hands. I couldn't see at that point of time, but if anybody wants to raise hand and ask question, please do. We're in last maybe 4 5 minutes of the session and we'll close then. As I said, two things. You can join the event as it is. It's coming on 17th of July. Second, we are also launching a report. You can come back. That report will be in depth. You can also go to our website, thedigitalfib.com. A lot of content is already there, and a lot of reports are there. As it is, all our reports are in depth, but they're always free of cost. We are not commercializing any of these activities, so this report will also be available. You can go to our website, thedigitalfib.com. You can also go to our website, which is where you can find more details about our InsurTech website, which is indiainsurtechsummit.com. You can go there and see more of it. But if there is nothing else, we'll pause now and hope to see you again. I think we'll come back with another session next week. I think we are right now, my understanding is we are planning 2 sessions. So you will see almost in next 1 month, around 5 to 6 sessions, we'll cover across the entire journey, length and breadth of the insurance, including claims. And technically, if you have any input where you would want us to go deeper, we will work on it. With this, we pause. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Let me see if there is any other question which has come up. Let me just see. No? Then we close now. Thank you. Mayank is asking, it's showing full. I think we'll add you to the group. Sarika will add you to the group. If there is anyone else finding problem, we'll add you to the group. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.